Today, the topic of our webinar is which customers to target and how to capture them. Before we start, I will tell a few words about me. So, as Peter said, my name is Ross and I'm a co-founder and CEO of CallPage. But before the CallPage, I have also my big experience, which I want to share with you. So, when I was young, I opened my e-commerce shop, and in a few years, I sold the shop to the local company. After that, I was a partner at management consulting company, and we help companies to improve their sales, to improve their conversion rate, and to business development in the different markets. So the topic of today's webinar is very familiar to me, and I want to share the best practices and best experience which we use in CallPage and which we used to use in my previous companies. So before we start, also a few words about CallPage. So what we offer is a simple callback which allows you to increase the number of phone calls which you're able to generate from your web page. For example, if you need to generate more sales calls and to generate more leads, you easily can install our solution on your web page, and by this you will achieve more telephone calls even for 30%. And you will be able to generate and you're able to call back your clients in 28 seconds. You can, I wouldn't tell you much about this today because it's not our topic, but please go to our webpage, check CallPage.io, try our solution for free for 7 days, and you will enjoy it. So also the theme of today's webinar is very familiar to us because we 24 months on the market. We use marketing very hard, and we put effort on it because we got 1 million investment euro, and most of this money is spent for the marketing, for the sales, for the international expansions. So we know what we're talking about. Right now we have 64% on the board on our company, and probably we'll hire more 30% at the end of this year. And we're growing 50% every month, and we kept this growth for 1.5 years. So in 1 year, we would be bigger, I guess, twice right now. And everything is because of lead generation. But before we start, let's talk about, guys, do we speak the same language? Because during this webinar, we would use three main words which we need to know. First of all, what is a lead? Second was lead generation. And third one is lead management. So let's start from the lead. Lead is a potential customer who show interest in our product or services. For example, if you are a car dealer, it would be a person who registered for a test drive. If you have a management consulting company, it would be a person who asks for free evaluation of the product, how much it would be cost. If you, for example, SaaS businesses, your lead would be a person who registered on your system. So it's a person who interested on your product or services, but don't buy yet. Second word is lead generation. And lead generation is a process of attracting and converting strangers and prospects into leads. So what is this exactly? It's, for example, when you use Google AdWords, when you use inbound marketing, when you use outbound marketing, when you use Facebook advertising, it's everything lead generation. So it's a process by which you generate leads and in which you can, to have leads in a company. The third word, and it's very important, is lead management. And this is a process of tracking and managing prospective customers. And it generally encompasses such process as a lead generation, filtering, grading, distribution, contact, and the goal is to making sales happen. So it's very simple words, it's a process it's a process which happened after the time when lead go to your CRM system or write to you that lead is interesting, and it's a process when you convert this lead to your customer. So guys, one important thing that you should remember for whole your life and from my webinar, and if you just would remember one thing, it would be the best things that you can do for me today. So it's a financial implication of the sales funnel. In management consulting, we work with many companies. Also, we analyze very hard our pipeline, And also I saw different startups who has their pipeline, and we see the simple mistake which everyone did, and you want to show you these mistakes, and you want to show you these figures, and it will help you to generate more sales. So guys, we have a next pipeline, and it's typical pipeline of the sales pipeline of different companies. And what do we have? We have different layers. For this example, we have 4 layers. And let's look deeper on this image. First of all, in the first layer, your leads, you need to attract leads on your website. So it would be potential visitors. And for attracting these visitors, you pay 30 cents per every visit on your website. And for example, you have 1,000 of visits, and you pay $300 for this. After that, just 3% of your customer fills a Google form on your website, or have a free registration on your website, or do some call to actions that you write on it. And on this stage, from this 3 people, it's already costs you, 1 lead costs you $10, so you need to pay more for 1 lead. After that, in the third stage, when somebody qualifies this lead, when you send them email, when you talk with these potential customers, from this 3 person, left just 1 person, and it costs you $300, for this lead. So for getting this contact on this stage, you already paid $300. And for converting these leads, 1, because the customer, you need 5 of them, because you have 20% conversion. So in the end of the, in the last layer and in the bottom of the sales funnel, you pay $100,000 per 1 customer. So what happened? What are the common mistakes that marketers and sales departments and general management do? So they don't focus in on the bottom of the pipeline, and they focus in just on the on the top of the pipeline, where 1 lead cost just was as 30 cents. And imagine that we, for example, lost 2 deals in the bottom of the pipeline, and we lost 100 deals on the up of the pipeline. So in first case, it was cost us $3,000 per one, for these 2 customers, and in the second case, it would cost us $300. So just try to focus in, guys, on the bottom of the pipeline. Try to optimize everything to the bottom of the pipeline, and if you have almost closed client, it's the most important things that you should do, and keep your focus on the company. Okay, guys, so let's talk right now about 8 mistakes in lead management. And today we will discuss 8 mistakes, which is very common, very small businesses do these mistakes. And let's check what we have and what we prepared today. So the first mistake, you don't save your contacts. Every company daily generate a lot of leads during different sources. You got some ask on the Facebook, you got some emails, somebody of your colleagues ask you about some services, and your potential partners send you some contacts, and a lot of contacts going to a company every day. And what happened? You just don't save all of them. You think, oh, we have unlimited market, we have, this is not our main source of the getting leads, or if this customer don't write us email and write us on the Facebook, it's not serious, it wouldn't our customer. And by this, you waste a lot of money and you lost a lot of leads. And this is the first mistake that you should avoid. You should save all your contacts. For example, if somebody comes to you from the networking and you take business cards, just type it on your Excel if you're a small company, or into a CRM if you already use your customer relationship management solution. So it's very important, because your contacts and your database of contacts is your assets. And when you would, sell your company or somebody would evaluate your company, the database, it would be one of the most important assets in small businesses that you're able to sell. That's why it's very important to save all your contacts and try to close all your contacts in the project. Who knows, if somebody is not very serious and write us on Facebook, maybe today it's not very good contact, but who knows, in 6 months, maybe this person will be hired by the corporate, or this person will launch their own businesses, or they start to get some investment. nobody knows. That's why you should care about every lead that you generate. Second common mistakes, you don't have any system of lead qualification and segmentation. Okay, so after first mistake, you already collect all of your leads in one place. So you have Excel or you have CRM system and everything is okay. But after that, you see that you sitting 24 hours per day and answering all the questions by yourself and you don't qualify these customers. After that, you need to understand that if everybody, it's very important to to collect all things on your one places and collect all your contacts. But second most important thing, you also should qualify your leads for sales qualified leads and, for example, marketing qualified leads if we use in our case. So how did we do this? So if you have a company who is have a very little traffic, and we see that, for example, this company wouldn't use our solution properly, we send it to marketing qualified leads, which we have automated, and we send just some interesting information for these customers. So we inform them about our webinars. We try to use different articles for them to grow this customer from the small company to the big company. But and we don't contact them directly. But if we see that this is our potential customer, this is our potential buyer persona, this company have a lot of traffic, we try to send it to the different sales funnel and we send it to the sales department. And in this case, our sales department call to this customer and we call to them or send it to the marketing qualified customer. In your case, what you should do. So try to answer to every questions, to every inquiry that somebody will have on a website, but don't spend too much time, for the small customers or customers who are not your buyer persona. And by this, you will, have better performance, and you will be, richer in less wasting of your energy. The thing number three is your sales team ignores leads who are not likely to become your customers. Remember that if we don't talk about broker business where the main purpose is to get money and to generate a lot of income and all that stuff, your basic function of the sales team is to speak with everybody and spread your product throughout the world. That's why in philosophical understanding of the sales team, if somebody of your sales team ignores your qualified sales lead, so it's very not good behavior, and you should fire this person immediately. Because of course that there are a lot of customers, and with some customers it's we can talk easier, we can sell them more. With other customers, it's very hard to find the common languages. And we just, skip the conversation with these customers, don't try to follow up them, and it's a main mistake. Let me tell about two cases which I have in my life, and which I saw these cases. So first one, in our management consulting company, recently one lady sent us inquiries that she wants to use our services. We work for middle and for enterprise market, so we don't interested only to work with this women. So I talked with them. I said that sorry, but probably you don't have a budget for us right now, and we're working with bigger clients. I tried to give some advices, and it was it's not it was our typical buyer persona. It was not our ideal customer. And just that's a human to human conversation that I sent. That sorry, but we cannot able to speak to work with you right now. And what happened in 6 months? In 6 months, this person was hired by the big corporate, and this corporate is exactly looking for services which we provided. And this woman contacted our company, and we win a tender, and we try to provide, and we have provided services for this corporate. So this is the first case where you shouldn't ignore your customers, because nobody knows what will happen in future, and try to give everybody information and try to give everybody feedback. The second case was during CallPage, when it was 2 years ago as just a small startup, 3 person, me, Sergey, and Andrew, these young boys. without no money support, without just a few customers, and we want to launch our AdWords advertisement. And we go to the AdWords consultants, and we try to ask to help them to launch our campaign. The CEO of this agency was very good. The CEO of this agency helped us to give us some tips, but they said, "Sorry guys, you're too small for us. If you would have 10 times more money, just come to us and we will help you." And what happens, in 1 year, we got investment, we got 1,000 clients, and we considered about AdWords as a growing potential channel for us. So we go to this CEO because I remember good behavior of his good behavior, and we start using their services. So it's the second thing that I have a very pleasure, customer experience, and it's also like confirms that sales shouldn't ignore these who are not likely to become their customers. Tip number 4, and it's also a very important mistake and very simple. It's when reception desk answers questions from your potential customer, not your sales team. There are many mistakes. For example, when you take in people from marketing department to the to the meeting, or there is somebody called to the general number and you don't qualify these people as customers, and you lose by this very big clients, because if you left a lot of telephone numbers and these telephone numbers would not for the right people, people will looking for contact with you. They will try to call to you, and they would ask your reception, for example, your IT department, your support department, or somebody else to help them because they want to buy your services or product. And these people is not interested. They don't have motivation to help these people, and they would tell just, hey, just try to load PDF from the web page. Try to save our catalog on your web page. And this is a mistake. Okay, you should have a prepared script for these people, and you should give them very strict instruction that they should send these links to the sales department or to your lead qualification manager or to you, and you should consider. And because of this, many people lost a lot of sales, and probably you never consider about this. Tip number 5 is salespeople do not follow up during the long and complicated sales. I saw slides where was written that just 14% of all deals is closing after 2 contacts, but 80% of all deals is closing after 14 contacts. So for closing one deal, for services or for products, in different businesses is different, but generally it's taking 14 times to contact this person. So first you contact your marketing department, after that there are a few follow-ups, after that it's going to the sales department speak for the phone, after that the email conversation, and after that sales happened. So you should remember that you need to follow up always your potential customer, especially on remember as I show you on the bottom of of your pipeline, because it's very important, and you can lose just easy money by this, and because you don't have a patient and you think, oh, I want to be ignorant, I don't want to follow this person. So this is the first thing. Remember that 14 contacts give you 80% of all your sales. Second thing, right now we have a back office in Krakow in Poland, and we close a lot of enterprise right there. And we started to analyze why we didn't close so many enterprises in the first year of our existing, as a company. And we after that we understand that average cycle of sales for the big companies in Poland, it's 9 months. So for selling some of your products to the corporates, to the enterprise, to the big companies, in Eastern Europe, it's take average is 9 months for closing a deal. Many startups in this period of time who focusing on the enterprise, they just break down and they bankrupt. That's why the biggest mistakes on the first year of your activity to focus on the big customers, because you should have really prepared product and you should be patient, and you should remember that timing is very important, and 9 months for closing sales is easily. So remember about this when you would plan and when you would use your marketing and sales, and you will analyze it. So tip number 6 is salespeople choose customers they want to work with. And this is common mistake. If you don't have a very enough discipline in your sales department, people just would took the best contacts they want to contact, the best websites or web traffic, the best customer with the biggest wallet, and this is mistakes because, as I said earlier, your sales department is created for spread about your product or your services to the world, and it's very important to contact almost with every self-qualified leads on your CRM system or in your pipeline. So please remember that you should keep discipline on your sales department, and you should give everybody different leads to work with. Tip number 7 is a process of lead management is not controlled. And it's also about discipline, and it's also about this that, for example, you send this lead to your sales department, and you just don't care. You just in the end of the month looking on the average, income of your company, and you say, okay, there would be 30 leads, there would be have the same 20 leads, there would have the same. And this is the biggest mistake that should avoid. You should analyze data. You should analyze which lead is converted better. You should analyze your buyer persona. You should analyze for which sales person you have most revenue, from which range or from which sector you have the most revenue. And you should control and you should interact with your sales funnel and manage this very strictly, because it would help you to generate more sales and earn more money. And last 8 mistake, it's working with leads as if the market was exhaustible. I will show you an example of what I mean. This is our landing page statistics, and let's look what we have right there. So for 368 views, we have 63 submissions, which is pretty good. So 70% of conversion is like average, and it's okay. But what happened right there? Just 39 contacts is a new contacts. So only 65% of new contacts is appearing in our CRM. What I mean, in many small businesses work as their market is infinite. They doing business locally, and probably they have like 500 or 1,000 leads in general, and there would no any company who would appear at this moment, and they don't care about every lead. They say, who cares if you wouldn't buy it, me some other would buy it, I would have it, and I would okay with this. But guys, even if we in the callback solution market, which is pretty giant, if we have already just 65% of new leads, so probably in your cases you have the same way with your businesses, and it's okay for the first year of activity. But what would happen in 5 years or in 6 years, where you would work locally, and if you already would work with almost all of the market, and already a lot of people would remember about you, and your lead qualified process and management wouldn't so good. So guys, these 8 mistakes which you should avoid. Let's summarize up and let's repeat about everything. So first of all, everybody knows how to generate leads, and the real challenge is making the sales happen. So it wouldn't give you any effect if you generate thousands of leads, but you're not going to convert them into sales. So remember, also remember about lead generation and lead management. Second thing, leads get more and more expensive, and they travel down into the sales funnel. And remember, this is most important. Try to focus on the down of the bottom. There is a huge amount of money who is lying, and there is many things where you lost your money. It's a down of the sales funnel. It is important to save every contact. And remember, guys, today it's not serious contact. Today is just your colleague, and in 6 months it can be a manager of the big corporate, and everybody doesn't know what will happen. Number 4, all contacts should be qualified and segmented, and this saves your time. So don't speak with everybody, just speak with lead who is self-qualified. Create your buyer persona. For example, in our case, it would be a company who have such amount of traffic, geography is from this and this country, and they have such amount of budget for marketing. In your case, that can be different. For example, it can be also like geography, meaning or budget or something like this. And this will extremely save your time and improve your productivity. Number 5, work on each and every segment. And if you refuse somebody, be polite. Try to to interact with everybody. With very small companies by marketing automation, with big companies by yourself or by sales department. But be polite, okay? Somebody don't have money right now, but who knows what happened in a year. The number 6 is forward all emails and calls from the potential customers and sales. Don't send to the marketing department calls from about sales. Don't send it to the IT department. Try to, if somebody calls to your reception, try to write the scripts and send this customer to the sales department. It's very important, and a huge amount of money is lying there. Remember about follow-ups, especially if sales process takes a lot. Remember about, as I said, enterprises be prepared for the nine months. 14 follow-ups you need for closing 80% of all sales. It's very important. And number 8, don't let your sales team to decide who they work. All these are important. Remember the main function of the sales team is to spread the word of your product. Tell about your product to everybody. They work also as a marketing things, and they should speak with everybody that you decided that they are self-qualified leads. Number 9, control lead management on your company. Check whether your employees follow the rules. So write rules about sales funnel and try to keep these rules. Discipline is very important. I also read a book about Ferguson, and who was a trainer of Manchester United, and he told that Manchester United was so successful because of 2 things. First of all, they improved their standards. So try to in lead management, try to give very good standard to your company and try to improve it. Okay, for today, standard is $1,000 per one lead. In 2 months, try to improve this from $1,000 for $2,000. And another second thing that why Manchester United as a team was so successful is discipline. So try to implement this discipline on a sales department. If you have a record, everybody should record. If you have rules, everybody should be on the frames of these rules. It's very important. And number 10 is respect your market. And you need it because sooner or later you will run out. So try to work with every lead as it's the last leads on your life. Thank you guys. From my side, it's